Monday and you're like, what are you doing here? But it's Motivation Monday and it's also March 1st. So I wanted to pop on here and give you guys a short little training about goals and setting goals the right way. So a lot of you guys have goals. You reach out to me all the time. I love hearing from you guys and learning about what your goals are and what you're trying to achieve and accomplish. But I also know some of you have started things in the beginning of the year and you're just not quite making the progress that you want to make. And so I wanted to just give you a little refresher on how to set goals the right way. And so if the first 2 months of the year haven't looked the way that you want them to look, I want you to just go through this and start thinking about a new way of setting goals. And this is the same thing that I take my clients through. And so I'm going to take you guys through a little exercise about setting goals. So the first thing to think about is, what is your big scary goal? So you might have a goal to lose 50 pounds. You cannot make that your goal in March, right? That you've got to set small goals along the way. So science has actually shown us that you get the same dopamine hit from hitting a small goal that you get from hitting a big scary goal. And so we want to take these big goals and we want to break them down into small, actionable things that you can directly control. So you cannot control the scale, unfortunately. You can't do that, right? But you can control your actions and your behaviors. And so we want to set SMART goals that's specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, and timed. SMART. So specific means something like, I'll give you an example. So a non-specific goal would be to drink more water. A specific goal would be to drink 80 ounces of water per day. Do you see how those are different? So that's specific. It also hits on the second one. It's measurable, right? You can measure 80 ounces. You cannot measure more or less, right? It's not something we can measure. So it's got to be specific and it's got to be measurable. Either yes, I did, or no, I didn't. It's also got to be actionable. So remember I talked about you can't control the scale. You can only control your actions. You cannot control other people. You cannot control anything else. You can only control your actions. So your goals have to be based on things that you can directly control, such as drinking water, right? You cannot say, I'm going to lose 10 pounds this month. You cannot control the scale. You can control drinking more water because it's something that you can directly grab your bottle and impact and measure every single day. Realistic is the R. So we did SMA. So the R is for realistic. And so a realistic goal would be, if you drink 2 bottles of water right now, an unrealistic goal would be to drink a gallon a day. A realistic goal would be, hey, I'm drinking 2 right now. I'm going to try to drink 4 bottles. Right? So you want to make sure it's realistic. You also don't want to set a goal that's like, I'm going to eat 1,000 calories a day. That's not a realistic goal. So it's got to be R. The R is for realistic and the T is for timed. So it's got to be within a certain period of time. So when we set goals, for example, I'm going to drink 80 ounces of water per day, per week, per month, per day, and I'm going to do that for 5 days out of the week. So I like to go with either 4 or 5 days when we're starting goals because, again, it goes back to that realistic. It's not always realistic to think you're going to do something 7 days a week. And we want to set goals that set us up for success. So a lot of things that you guys come to me and say that you want is confidence. And the way that you get more confidence is by achieving goals. And so every time you achieve a goal, your confidence goes up a little bit and your brain gets a little bit of a chemical hit. And so we want to make sure our goals are realistic, and that's how we start to build confidence. So specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, and timed. So for example, if I want to lose 10 pounds, I might decide that I'm going to drink 80 ounces of water 5 days per week. I'm going to exercise a minimum of 30 minutes, 4 days per week. I'm going to hit 10,000 steps per day, at least 4 times per week. Right? So those would be 3 really, really, really achievable, actionable, and realistic goals for somebody who wants this big goal of losing 10 or 20 or however many pounds, right? And you also need to think about where you're at right now. So again, if you drink 2 bottles of water a day, you might just increase it to 4. Well, if you already are drinking maybe 80 ounces, maybe you need to drink 100, right? So you need to think about where you're at on the spectrum. If you're not exercising at all, a realistic goal is not to exercise 5 days a week for an hour. That's just not realistic, right? When we start on my programs, it's 30 minutes, 3 days a week, and that's it. Because that's realistic for somebody who's just starting, right? And then once you get that down, you can sort of add and build onto it. And so what I would recommend that you guys do is using this SMART framework is write them down. So I have a whiteboard, a magnetic whiteboard on my refrigerator. All my clients do as well. And you'd actually write it like this. So you'd write your goals down the side, and then these are for weeks. So there's 5 weeks in March, essentially, right? It starts today. And every Sunday night, I go in and I check off whether or not I met my goals. So every Sunday night, I go in and say, yes, I drank 80 ounces of water. Yes, I worked out 30 minutes 3 times per week. Yes, I got my 10,000 steps in, or no, I didn't. And then you can do this, whoops, this way. You can do this each week and staying consistent towards just those same 3 goals for the entire month. I guarantee you will have the most success that you've had instead of jumping from different thing to thing and trying different diets and trying different random stuff. If you set some goals and you're really specific, intentional about them, and you check them off every Sunday, because I can tell you, if you set goals and write them down and Sunday night comes and you did none of them this week, the next week you're going to be really, really, really motivated to hit them, right? And put them somewhere where you have to see them, where you have to look at them, and you have to keep yourself accountable for them. Your refrigerator is a really good place to do this. Like I said, mine is, I have a magnetic whiteboard. Half of it's my meal plan. On the top right, I have my goals. Mike has his goals, and then we have things that we want to do together. And every Sunday night, we go in and write them, check them off, or don't. And I can tell you, if I have 4 goals up there, and I only do 2 out of the 4, I only get 50%. So I went to school for a lot of years, like you guys did too. 50% is not a passing grade to me. So that's not okay. So the next week I'm like, shit, what do I have to do? I got to meet this goal. So if you do this and you focus on these 3 goals, uber consistent for the next month, I guarantee March will be the best month that you have had all year in terms of your wellness, your weight loss. Honestly, it could be a business goal. It could be whatever thing you are working towards. Pick the big scary goal. Break it down into specific, measurable, actionable, repeated, and timed steps that you can do. Do them consistently for 5 weeks, and I guarantee it'll change your life. It'll change your outlook. It'll change your body. So I wanted to share this with you guys because it is a new month, and this is something that I'm doing with my clients. I did it with myself. I did it for myself last night and wrote them on my board. So I thought you guys might find this to be pretty useful as well as you're going on this journey. So that's what I wanted to share with you. Do me a favor, if you guys like this video, just go ahead and let me know in the comments. Smash the heart button, the like button. I like to hear from you guys. It also helps me out when I get that feedback from you guys. So just giving me a like on a video is something that's very helpful. If you set some goals and you want to talk about them, or hey, Jessica, are these SMART goals? Do these fit the framework? You can go ahead and send me a message. I will be more than happy to help you with them. There is actually a worksheet with this. If you go into this group under guides, and it's actually in there. It's called Goals Worksheet. So there actually is a goals worksheet that you could actually print out or put it on your desktop on your computer, and it'll actually walk you through this exact same thing. It asks you some questions. So it's actually, this exact framework is already in this group. So you can also use that, or you can just put a sticky note on your refrigerator. It doesn't have to be fancy. So that's it. Wanted to share that with you guys. If you like this, go ahead and let me know in the comments. If not, I will see you guys on Wednesday at 5 p.m. for a very special Wellness Wednesday. So that is it for today, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day.